Hello, it has been a while since I've done a podcast on answering your emails, so I'm going to catch up a little bit on some of the email today. I'm trying a new technique where you can actually see me read the email, so you can see I actually do look at some of the email we get. We get hundreds every week, and unfortunately we can't answer them all, but we're going to go through a few of them today and find out what's in the email box, and maybe yours will be one of the one that we answer. Here's one from Terry. Terry says from Grants Pass, Oregon, I used to be able to boot up without Windows asking for a password right at the end of boot up, and I don't even have a password, never have. How do I stop this password request? If you're using Windows XP, it appears, the best thing to do is go into Start and then go into Control Panel. In your Control Panel, go to Users and Passwords, and then under Users and Passwords, you're going to delete the user that's probably saying Microsoft.net or something like that in the user, and that's the extra user that gets put in there by Microsoft updates and causes you to stop at that startup screen. So give that a shot, Terry, and you should be in good shape after that. Here's an email from Elvis. Where did the link for signing up for the newsletter get moved to on your site? We did have problems with our email server in July, and we had to switch our system. We are now actually up and running. We're using a company called Ezine. Right now we're trying it out, and it seems to be working pretty well. It is getting filtered out by a lot of spam companies or little anti-spam companies, so look into your spam box, make sure you look for it there, and then whitelist, which is put our email address that new site is using, put it into your address book so that it'll come through to your email. And I will get the sign up back up as soon as we solidify this is the one we're going to use. We'll put the sign up back on all the pages of the website. So thanks for the email, Elvis. Here is one from Basada. How many instructions would a processor have to execute the multiplication of a 264-bit floating point numbers and then write the result in memory location? Basada, the answer is 6. The answer is 6. Our next message is from Dora in Gulfport, Mississippi. I enjoy reading your newsletter and learned quite a bit, told my friends about it. I have XP Home Edition. My documents folder, my music folder is now called Owner's Music. I've been trying to reinstall iTunes, and it needs my music folder to be the default, and the Owner's Music won't let me rename it to My Music. I've been trying for 2 days. What's going on here, Dora, is My Music is the Owner's Music, but in Windows XP, which is presumably, yeah, you're using XP Home Edition Service Pack 2, because we have different users, it's going to show up as the user's music, even though it is My Music. If you go to Start, Programs, Accessories, and then Windows Explorer, and then dig down through Documents and Settings, underneath the owner username, you will see a folder called My Music. So it shouldn't be a problem, and you shouldn't have to rename that. I'm not sure exactly why you're running into the problem you're doing, because iTunes normally pops in just without a problem. So go back into your iTunes and run the installation again. Don't change anything or try to worry about anything that goes through there. Just run through the setup, and it should work just fine. I don't think you'll have any problems. Our next email is from Stephanie in Delta, Colorado. She says, I will be working in Internet Explorer 7 and all of a sudden it disappears on her. I need to log in again on the internet and start over with whatever project I was working on, and I will sometimes have several tabs open that I need for a project. That's a tough one. If you are not minimizing it accidentally by hitting the Windows key plus M, I can't tell you for sure what's going on without looking at the situation. My suggestion would be go into the Internet Explorer, click Tools, Options, and then under Options go to the Advanced tab, and at the very back of the very bottom of the Advanced tab there's a button that says Reset Internet Explorer, and it'll reset all of the settings of Internet Explorer. You could have a third-party utility or a tool that is interfering with Internet Explorer and causing that problem. My ultimate answer is, if that doesn't work, is don't use Internet Explorer. Use Mozilla Firefox. Much more stable, much easier to use, much more flexible. Another email here. This one is from Stephen. My question is simple. I'm an avid XP user, and I recently purchased 2 tower computers and a laptop computer that have Windows Vista on them. And I would like to remove this and go back to XP. Everyone that I have asked about this has told me that it isn't impossible, but it is a nightmare. A friend of mine told me that you guys have done it. You can do it. It's not easy, Stephen. In some cases it's very easy. You do need to get yourself an XP disk. You can't use the same XP CD that you have on another computer because you can only use one copy of XP per computer. So I recommend going to a website like newegg.com, and at Newegg you can get what's called an OEM version of the software and then install it. The biggest problem you may have is finding the Windows XP drivers for your computer. Usually that's not a problem. I recommend before you try it, go to the manufacturer's website or call the manufacturer and ask them if they have XP drivers available for the different components, the video card, the sound card, your Ethernet port, if you have one of those on your computer, modem, etc. Make sure that there is indeed Windows XP drivers for all those systems. Our next question is from Robin. She says she's writing from Rome, Italy. I just have to trust that's where these people are telling me they're writing from. She has an American bought PC, and everything has been okay since we powered up after the move, but we have been having shutdown problems. We have been interrupted countless times during offline games or online activities. Now that we're online, we get messages saying that there was an error, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it looks like the long and short of it is she has an adapter to adapt to the European version of the power outlets in Europe compared to her American computer, and that could be the problem. There is very frequently problems associated with not enough power or too much power getting to a computer, causing peripherals to have a problem or even the computer itself. So I'm going to guess that's it. I would, if I were you in your situation, Robin, take it to a computer shop or an expert there in Italy, ask them to look at your PC power supply. Maybe they can replace the power supply with one that will work with your system. Now on the back of most power supplies there's a little button that says 110 and then 200 or 220, and it's a little red slider switch. Look on the back of your power supply, shut your computer off, switch it to that. That may be the setting you need to have for Italy. I've never been there. I'm not positive on what's going on in Europe, but because they do have a different power grid and power system, very well could be why you're having so many problems and so many errors that are coming up with your computer. So give that a try, Robin. Thanks for writing. Here's Dan from Northport, Florida. On shutdown, a Windows comes up with shell con hidden window. I have an idea it is malware or spyware. SpySweeper, Adware, AVG do not detect anything like this. I like the new show. Dan in Northport, window comes up, shell con hidden window. Not enough information there, unfortunately, for me to figure out what you're talking about. Dan, hopefully you're watching this podcast and you can send me a little extra information, and if I get to your email again, I can try to answer it better. But what you're telling me in the email doesn't ring a bell, so I need more information. So I think that's all we're going to do for today. We get through about 7 or 8 emails there. We will get through more emails in upcoming days. In the meantime, thanks for visiting helpmerick.com. We do not have a live show tomorrow night on Thursday. We will be back next Thursday live again at helpmerick.com, and I will try to do these email podcasts at least once a week. I'm going to list whose emails I answer on the podcast so that you can at least look before you watch the video or listen to the podcast. So thanks again. Have a great day.